welcome to Dualshock'd, the Brotherhood of Geeks PlayStation podcast. I am one of your hosts, Brett J. Rasmussen. Over here, I got my other co-host. I got one of my co-hosts. I got Spectre, and I got Guru Blaz over here.
I was gonna say, like, there really is.
You want me to jump in? Am I the designated regular?
Yeah, like there'd be no way for us to know which one you were.
That is true. I forgot. Hey man, this is like the first time.
All right away here.
Shut up! Shut up! This is the first time.
Oh, I don't care. It's just like it was like which one of us decides to go first. Honestly, look
at me knowing what I'm doing. No, I don't. I am so like this is the first time that the three of us have been able to be together because I'm so used to like the three of us being here on the set and like I can like everything's here, but like because of the pandemic we're all at our own places, so that's why we're all together. We're all here together for like the first time because I've been able to like talk with Guru Blaz, I've been able to talk to Spectre separately, but now all three of us are here. So how have you guys been doing? Whoever wants to start, Guru Blaz, I'll let you begin. How have you been doing, Guru Blaz?
I mean, all right.
Just okay?
I mean, elaborate.
I'm still have a job and I still work and my lifestyle is pretty sedentary where I just hang out at home and drink most of the time anyway. So honestly, there was no major shift during all of this for me.
Mm-hmm.
It was just kind of like the couple times a month I would go to a bar, which I still like to do now and again, but it's like it was an extremely easy transition for me, honestly. So I mean, I'm good.
That's good. That's good. How about you, Spectre? What's been going on with you?
I mean, for the most part, I've been, as I said before, just working from home and stuff, and really enjoying that quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of games, like I said, I said before, this Command and Conquer remaster. I think I said that last time we talked. Just fantastic. Really raises the bar for what a remaster should be. I can't praise that game enough. Even the Metacritic for it's doing really well. So just a fantastic game. I really hope this is it actually sells well enough so they get to the point and actually make some follow-ups. This maybe remaster Red Alert 2 or Tiberium Sun. I would love to see that too. So
otherwise strategy games. Yeah, I've honestly been curious to get it. That's like the one genre I've never really gotten into because I just haven't.
Yeah, it's very how can I say? It's very beginner unfriendly. But
I played enough strategy games where I feel like I'd probably be able to get it with some time. Like I love XCOM, which I know is different, but like I can get the concept of like is it kind of like StarCraft?
Yeah, that's it's same idea as that. I mean, I think the trouble for most people for these games, including for myself, is it's a lot of multitasking. You have to be able to coordinate an attack, and then at the same time make sure you're building up stuff in your base, and researching stuff. So, yeah, Command and Conquer, I'd actually say is because it's such an old game. I mean, it's a 25-year-old game. I'd almost recommend
it. I've been playing Baldur's Gate 1 recently.
Oh, nice.
And actually, it's a very good game. I like it a lot.
But
it's the enhanced edition, so I mean, it's a little bit of stuff added, I guess, from the very original version of it. But
yeah,
I'm just been getting big into D&D lore and stuff, and I kind of like that game is fucking hard though. I'll tell you that.
That's what I hear. I never actually tried that one, but I hear it's a classic. But
it's very good. Like voice acting is great. It's got isometric perspective. Just click around, move. You basically, the way that the combat functions is essentially kind of like an MMO, but you have the ability to hit the space bar, or if you don't have a keyboard, you would click this icon and it just freezes time. Everything turns black and white except for your characters and what you're fighting.
Yeah.
So you can just pause time so that, because it's set up so you can pick a move that someone has, and then select which enemy you want it to go to, and then basically you can do all of that, and then unpause and let it play out. Otherwise, you can it'll automatically attack. You can change your behavior. It's pretty in depth for a game of its vintage, and it's based off of Dungeons and Dragons Advanced too. So like the older, very hard and unforgiving version. Like your entire party can just get murked by one fucking brown bear.
Yeah.
If you just don't, if the RNG isn't on your side, randomly. Yeah. But it is very good. The story is very good, and like the voice acting is phenomenal. Like for a game as old as it is, I definitely because I got it on Steam. It was $20.
Nice.
And it's a PC game anyway. The enhanced edition. Like from what I read, there's a lot of graphical fixes and like just ease of use stuff. Like there's literally a button to quick save because, dude, I save scum the shit out of that game because there's like no way. Because like I don't want to play on story mode, which is essentially you automatically win every battle by default. So I'm honestly on the difficulty above that, which like. I guess you would consider easy, but it is definitely like sometimes it is, and then sometimes you just literally get your entire you just lose character, which is like not game ending other than the main character, but like I want to maintain a high amount, like a party of 6.
Yeah.
Like so. It like I'll reload as soon as one character dies if I didn't just because it's like it's honestly not worth it, and you could definitely fight the same battle twice and do 100% better the next time because it's supposed to be like D&D. So in addition to your stat chart, it's all based off of like RNG dice rolls, which is like which I like. That's the whole experience. But yeah, all in all, also the music is very good.
Yeah, I mean I haven't played that game myself, but it does look like an interesting.
Well, the third one's on the horizon. Larian Studios, who did Divinity 1 and 2, which are also phenomenal. I recently picked Divinity 2. Yeah, Divinity 2 is phenomenal. Like, I mean, I'm not going to say that it's story. Not that it's a bad story. I mean, the story, so far as I've gotten, is good, but. Like, I like Dungeons and Dragons lore to a much greater degree than I do the Divinity lore, like, which isn't really Divinity fault. That's not the fault of the game since it hasn't been around for fucking 40 years plus. But Divinity's mechanics, I find almost perfect to try to emulate like a true tabletop experience.
Okay.
Is I think almost as great of a degree as you really can. Because it's never going to be the same. Like you're not because like until like a game is created as you think of it while trying to play it. Like you can't have a 1-to-1 truly between tabletop and a video game. But like Divinity's system gives you so much choice option and like where you like my favorite example in 2 would be like if you hit something. And it bleeds it all on the ground.
Yeah.
You can electrify the blood pool underneath them to do more damage or freeze it to make them like like that would be an example. Like not to mention all the items and crafting and skill sets in that game. Like it is truly like massive as an experience. Like I barely scratched the surface, honestly.
Yeah, for me, what I've been playing through Last of Us. Kind of as I said, I know I've been playing for that for a while. There's a lot of different playthroughs.
Because you're very, very platonically attracted to Joel, and we all know it.
Sure.
Oh boy.
Sure. We'll go with that. No, I'm playing through Last of Us to pretty much get ready for Last of Us Part 2.
Are you playing the PS3 original or the remastered with the DLC?
Remastered with the DLC on the PS4.
Wise.
Yep. So I've been playing that, and I know Spectre has his own thoughts. He's been very clear about his own opinion on Last of Us.
I'm not a fan, but I'm going to be very curious to hear your thoughts on the new game because I think that, as I've said, I think the new game is going to be, even the creator itself is saying that this is going to be kind of like the Last Jedi video games where it's really going to be polarizing. So I'm fascinated to hear what you're going to say about it.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I mean, again, that's I'm going to
Like,
be.
you mean as far as like the themes, or just
No, in terms of how polarizing it was. I mean, some people loved it, some people hated it.
are you talking about the first one or the new one?
The new one. He's talking about Last of Us Part 2.
Okay. Oh, are you basing it off of like early reviews and stuff, like that kind of a thing?
Yeah, it's well, I'm just basing that off of the. Well, I mean, I was privy to all the leaks. I went through and actually watched all the leaks and everything. So I think it's going to be polarizing based off that. But now even what's his face, Neil Druckmann came out and basically said that this game is going to be controversial. It's not going to be something that maybe everyone's going to just.
A game like that should be.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we will see when it comes out, and yeah, we'll be.
Well, I mean, from what I've seen, it's getting like pretty much flawless scores across the board from every review I've seen.
Yes, there are early reviews coming out, and we will be doing our own review, and I'll be reviewing that game. Yeah, so I guess we will have to see how this goes, and I am interested in seeing what, because the review scores are very high. I've only seen numbers. I do not know like everything behind the numbers, but again, I'm going to be reviewing it myself.
I mean, I haven't been to it to any great degree, like, and the only footage I've seen, the footage that's been mainstream released trailer wise, and like I haven't really watched any leaks of any, because like I'm not trying to ruin the experience for myself. Not that I'm too worried about that, but it's like the channels that I usually travel along don't lead me to those kinds of spoilers and stuff, because I'm not actively looking for it.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. So we are going to be spending this entire episode about the future of gaming, the PS5 reveal event that actually just happened. So you guys ready for the PlayStation conversation?
Yeah.
All right. This is our PlayStation conversation.
PlayStation.
So, me and Spectre did our own reactions. We watched it and we did our own reactions to it. Guru Blaz, you were busy, so you weren't able to do it. So, to begin, as a whole, what did you think of the event as a whole? We're going to go through the entire list of all the games, including, we're going to talk about like the system at the very end. But as a whole, what did you think of the event, Guru Blaz?
What was that again? Sorry.
As a whole, so like, we're going to go through all the games, we're going to go through everything there, but as a whole, as the event itself, what did you think about the entire event, the entire hour and a half, give or take, of the event itself? What did you think?
It was entertaining to watch, if you want a very general statement.
It was very entertaining. So it was just entertaining.
Well, you said as a whole.
Yeah.
And by that I mean, like, I enjoyed what I saw. Like, there's obviously some games that I'm like I would be more interested in artistically rather than actually ever playing them. And then there's some that I'm definitely like, that would be something I would want to play.
Mm-hmm.
And I found it very, I got to give props to whoever the video editor for all those transitions is, because they literally did I at least like 10 plus different variations of just utilizing the button logos to like make all those, like, and some of them are just like, that's a lot of work, man. Like, as someone who's dabbled in it, like, but I appreciated the visual aesthetic a lot. They definitely played on that. And then they had that ASMR glowing black blue bead thing at the end.
Yeah.
Which was interesting.
Spectre, what did you think of the event as a whole? I know we talked about it on our kind of reactions, but what did you think of the event as a whole?
Yeah, no, I'm kind of glad I had a day to think about it, because at first I was, just very much in the camp of like, this was disappointing, this was boring for me. I was if I wasn't watching this live, I would have been skipping around in the video. But I think upon reflection, looking at the list of games again, and I know we're going to go through them.
Yep.
I think this is actually a very strong lineup, probably stronger than what we saw for PlayStation 4 for a launch lineup.
Yeah.
And probably stronger than the PS3, but I mean that's pretty easy because the PS3 had a notoriously horrible launch. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't necessarily say it's better than the PlayStation 2's launch window because that was a really strong launch. But I mean, I think this is actually
that's its own category.
Yeah, that's the gold standard, really.
Like it still maintains the highest selling console of all time and one of the and probably the largest game library of any console.
Yeah, that's the gold standard to go by. But I think really after thinking about this some more, I think it's going to be a good launch lineup. Unfortunately for me, it's not going to be a launch lineup that's good for me personally. I don't really care for the games that are going to be coming out. I mean, maybe one or two of them intrigue me. A bunch of them I think are kind of in the like this. I wouldn't buy this ever. Maybe it'd be like a nice PS Plus game or something.
Uh-huh.
But in terms of the heavy hitters, the big AAA games, there's really just nothing there for me that I like personally. And that's not saying that the games that are coming out are bad per se. It's saying that they're not.
I'm pretty much on the same boat. Like it's like that is an awesome artistic expression, but not really personally interesting to me.
Yeah, like for me, with the event as a whole, like the way I looked at this is like how, because I follow wrestling like very intently, I looked at this how you would book a wrestling match. So how did they book the event? So you have like in the way they bookended the entire event was amazing. They came out of the gate swinging, and how they ended it was very well done. And it was the middle part that, for me personally, I actually didn't mind the middle part, which was a lot of indie games, and I'm very glad that these indie games got the spotlight on this showcase, because these games would honestly, no one would know about them, no one would see them.
Well, I wouldn't say no one, but definitely a much smaller circle, like people who probably have already been following their work and stumbled upon them.
Yeah, I apologize. Not a lot of people would be seeing these indie games like on like Spectre. You were talking about this on the reactions, like during the event, like what you were saying that like on the live chat there was a lot of like Z's and L's during a lot of the indie games that were happening throughout the event. Which, for me, I'm glad that they are there. Because there's so many. PlayStation is showing just the breadth of genres that they are going to be. That's going to be on their system.
Well, right, and it's also just like showing developers who like may not be on board with them, or even the ones they're working with. It's like it's that much. It's going to be easy to design for and can handle any number of things. And the thing is that like the indie gaming scene is essentially like it's not even like a scene anymore. It's pretty much an established thing, I would say, because especially like like being someone who goes on Steam, it's like there's just so much content as far as gaming goes, and people are, I think, I would say a vast majority of gamers, like after you play enough, it's like craving new, different experiences. And also, I think art direction is like a huge player in like people's perception of like the kind of games that they want to play. Because like, not that it hasn't been, but it's like more now than I think ever before, where like you take a game like Uncharted, like any game that's like, realism, that kind of stuff, even if there's fantasy elements in it, we're now doing games that are much more of an animated, cartoony nature, which is, I love cartoons, so I can dig it, because it's like playing a game in that style. It's like when Cuphead first came out. Yeah. It's so novel to have just that kind of, like, to have agency in that kind of like artistic medium. Like where you're not running around necessarily as like a 3-dimensional, fully rendered, see the beads of sweat on them character. but you can move. It's almost like you're playing a cartoon.
Yeah.
Which I just think it's a different experience, and I think that a lot more people are finding that to be novel and want more of that. And good stories can still be told in that medium.
Yeah, Spectre did because on the stream you were saying like you kept going like, come on, only half an hour, only 20 minutes, like you kept counting down. I was calling you on that.
I was like, I was like, come on, like there's got to be something interesting here. There's got to be something unique. Like where's the big guns? Like where's the Silent Hill remake, or where's something like unexpected out of left field. Where's a God of War teaser or something? I
will say that the Demon's Soul remake has my interest. Not that I've ever played it, but that was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I wish I was a fan of that. I'm
playing through Dark Souls 1 right now, and I'm just like trying to get through those, and I love them, and obviously they're hard as well. But I totally get why some people aren't into it.
Yeah. So
yeah, but yeah, no, I just was like, come on, there's gotta be something big here coming, but it never came for me. And it's not that there weren't like big games announced. There was, Demon Souls and Gran Turismo coming back. There's
or
some
Hitman 3 or fucking.
Or no, I like Hitman. A lot. But that wasn't like. We all knew Hitman was in development. It wasn't like a shock.
I will say that the Hitman. It looks good, but I will say that Hitman 3 trailer was like very conservative. Like there wasn't really a lot to it, and there was like no gameplay.
Yeah, so we're already getting into the game, so why don't we just I have all the games listed. I'm going to go from top to bottom all the way down. So first we opened with a trailer from GTA 5, which just shows that they're bringing it to the PlayStation 5. Just like they did for the PS4, it's going to be brought over to the PS5. Along with, they said that if you have PlayStation Plus starting this month on the PS4 and then going into the PS5, every month you will get a free $1 million of in-game currency, which you can use, of course, to buy cars and guns and houses and stuff like that. So we got GTA 5 coming, which... Okay,
that's cool. I don't really play GTA anymore. Not that I don't think it's a great game. It's not the type of game I sink a lot of time into.
That game came out since back in 2013. I get why it's being ported because it's the highest selling video game in all of time. But I honestly thought that they were going to show that it's coming to PS5, and then at the very end, they were going to show a logo for GTA 6, but I guess not. But yeah, Spectre, weren't you laughing at this?
For GTA
5.
Really, yeah, it's becoming like a Skyrim scenario.
Yeah.
And, it's just like we have to port this thing to literally every system, It's like, come on, really?
Well, not that it's a bad model, but it's basically they're basically just taking what is already there and they're just expounding upon it, like what Destiny is also going to be doing, as opposed to the release of another game. Granted, I have no doubt that GTA 6 is going to be years worth of production.
Oh yeah, GTA 6, they're
not going to drop GTA 6 to it's literally the greatest thing you've ever seen, or
it's
whatever.
It's predicted that it's going to be.
Think about this. I like that it's been 3 generations of consoles now, and they're selling you the same game 3 times.
Yeah, I know. And it's been predicted by analysts that if there would be a GTA 6, it wouldn't be until 2024. So we have a while for that. So,
right, and it's also something. It's I played GTA 5. It's a phenomenal game. I'm not going to deny. I never played the online because I just don't really play online like that much. But I would be interested in GTA 6, but it's not something I'm biting at the bullet for because it's I know it would take that long anyway, and I want to see where they're going to take it first.
Yeah, no, I get you there. And then so we have that, which Awesome. It makes sense. And then we got a little message from the pretty much the new CEO of PlayStation, just to, like, welcoming everyone there. And then we had the trailer of Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales. Now, there's been a bit of confusion about, like, is this game an expansion to the PS4 game? Is it a standalone?
You know, it gave me the sense it was its own separate game.
So there has been clarification. This game, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, is going to be very much in kin of Uncharted Lost Legacy. It is a standalone game that is only on PS5. It's very much like Lost Legacy. It is an expansion, but it's able to stand by itself. It's not like, so I believe it's going to be probably like maybe a 15-hour campaign. Or like, because I think the Marvel Spider...
Did they confirm? I couldn't find clarification on this. Did they confirm if it comes with the original game or not, like an enhanced version of the original game?
No, that I did not see. Like all I know is that this is very much similar to Uncharted Lost Legacy. Like, Uncharted Lost Legacy is just the game, and then there's an online multiplayer component, but all they did is port the Uncharted 4 multiplayer into Lost Legacy. So Lost Legacy is its own game by itself. So no, I did not see like if there's going to be a completed edition where you get both or whatever. But right now it's just it's Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales. It has been clarified by PlayStation that it's going to be a standalone game, very much similar to Uncharted Lost Legacy, and actually. Like, there's been articles about it, and like it had to be explained a little bit more because the wording when they tried to explain it was a bit odd. But it has been clarified by multiple sources like Jason Schreier and others that it's a standalone game on PS5, very much akin to how Lost Legacy is. That's how it is.
It's just like it's like a subplot that of a existing franchise.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So it is a full game. It's a full game, but it might not be either in scope or in length as Marvel Spider-Man. I think in scope it's going to be the same, but in length it may be a bit shorter. But I'm excited for that game, and what makes me really happy is that it said holiday 2020. So that is a launch title. That's a launch title to go with the PS5. I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still, because I recently borrowed it from a friend. I'm playing through the Marvel Spider-Man because I hadn't played it till recently, and it's very good. And like again, that one also looks very good. Like I'd be interested to play it, but it's not something I'm like super hot for. Like where I'd immediately buy it. I'd probably wait till it got cheap.
Mm-hmm. And Spectre.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is a case of, I mean, it doesn't look like it's a bad game. It's just not a game for me. I played through and platinumed Marvel Spider-Man on PlayStation 4. Decent game, entertaining. I'm not a superhero fan in general, so the story didn't really do anything for me. I just think it was very forgettable, disposable entertainment for me. I don't think it was just this incredible 10 out of 10 type experience that people have lauded it to be. It was fun from a gameplay standpoint. I liked the web slinging around the city and stuff like that, and the combat was okay. And I mean, it was a very okay game. I can't really say anything particularly.
I think that mechanically it's like above average in some ways, but yeah, like I am a comic guy, but like Spider-Man, although I think he's a great character personally, is not like very interesting to me.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
there's other characters that I would be much more into it for the story. Not that the story's bad, but like again, for me, it's more about the mechanics when it comes to Spider-Man that makes me want to play it if I want to play it.
I mean, for me, I'm on the other side of both of you, I guess. For me, I loved Marvel Spider-Man. I absolutely love it. I actually prefer Marvel Spider-Man over the Batman games.
Well, they draw heavily on the mechanics of those games.
But like I loved it. It just, you feel like Spider-Man and everything about it. And then the story was fantastic. And I'm also a big comic book guy. The story was phenomenal. That ending, that got to me. I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to spoil it because that ending is fantastic. But I loved that ending. So
I was going to say the only other thing about that game, the only like legitimate point of criticism I had for that game was the parts where you play as Mary Jane or Miles are just insufferable. They're terrible. I don't know why they're in the game. But aside from that, like I said, otherwise a pretty competent game overall. Just not, like I said, just not my thing. So I'm gonna say that a lot today. You know, it wasn't my thing.
Well, no, I totally get it because there's some games where that would be my answer too. Like, this is probably a great game. It looks like it'd be fun to play. I may play it at some point, but it's not something I'm going to go out of my way to play or like pay for. Or I'll pay for it or whatever. You know, it's like, or it's just not like it wouldn't be like something the story wouldn't keep me in there long enough for me to want to make a financial purchase.
Yeah. But so after that we got Gran Turismo 7, we actually got a trailer along with a gameplay demo or like actual gameplay of Gran Turismo 7, which is great. Gran Turismo 7, I'm glad that there's another Gran Turismo, which has been a very popular game in PlayStation's history. And I want to see Gran Turismo kind of take the crown back, kind of be that go-to driving simulator because Forza has been that game for a while now. Gran Turismo 7, not my kind of game. I'm not really big into the driving games, but it does look good.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's like exactly what I would say. Like, I'm not a racing. Like, the only racing games I kind of like are Burnout and like Mario Kart types and like kart racers.
Yeah. Or like CTR or like Crash Team Racing. That was
basically like more arcade stuff.
Yeah.
Like Need for Speed would be as high as I have a Need for Speed game because it's a good mix of real cars but with more arcade mechanics like and stuff.
Yeah,
but it's not like a game I would like. It's more of like a play with another person game for me.
Yeah,
as opposed to something that I would play on my own when I want to just with nothing else going on.
Yeah, Spectre, how about you?
For Gran Turismo, I mean, once again, just not for me. I mean, it looks really, really nice. I mean, I'm glad they showed off gameplay of it. I mean, it looks fantastic. Like I said, man, just not my thing at all.
I get you.
I'd rather play like a kart racer, like he was saying, like Mario Kart. Yeah, like CTR or Mario Kart or something like that. You know, that's more my speed. I'm not into the.
Well, right, because the way I see it is like I'll play a racing game and I like racing games, but I'm not playing it for the simulation aspect ever.
Yeah.
So that's why I want boost and bombs and just a bunch of, like arcade mechanics, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
As opposed to like those games are gorgeous renderings of almost like sometimes at a distance you can't tell the difference.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's awesome, like personally, because it's like this is like showing that the graphical fidelity is just continuing to ramp up in general, and especially now it's going to be on this new system. And just like the graphical fidelity of like what will be possible down the road.
Yeah. So we saw Gran Turismo. The next game they showed off is another Insomniac game, was Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. And it really showed off how loading, like there is no loading times because you're moving in between worlds. You're not just like the like they showed. Not only did we see like a trailer, but we saw actual gameplay too, where like Ratchet and Clank are like going through different dimensions of different worlds, and like though I guess they're loading the worlds in the background while they're like flying through that like inner space like between the dimensions, and like it's loading in like 5 seconds. So it's going through, and you can pull like in the gameplay you can like pull yourself to different parts of the map, and like instantly, like that game looks great. And Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart looks really fun. They showed off some new guns that are always fun. That's kind of the gimmick of Ratchet and Clank. And you're like just like the mechanics and the gameplay mechanics and kind of like the gimmick where you're like going through Rift, going through worlds, like that's so cool.
I mean, I like Ratchet and Clank, I do, so I would probably get that at some point. And I'm not the first to say it, no doubt, and like because it's already been stated. But I just want to say there is an absolute deluge of furry porn that is going to come out of that girl version of Ratchet. Like that is immediately what the internet is going to do. Like you know it's the truth. Like as soon as anyone, like within probably 20 minutes of that, there was like 8 million pieces of fan art.
Thanks, Guru. Spectre, like, what did you think of Ratchet and Clank?
Yeah, I mean, graphically, it looks fantastic. I never really played Ratchet and Clank, to be honest with you. I mean, it wasn't. I just was never a series I got into. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, just graphically, it looks fantastic. Yeah, probably something I would maybe try out eventually. I mean, definitely not a day one purchase for me or anything. But I mean, if it was like on sale or like on PlayStation Plus, I would definitely play it. You know. So yeah, nothing. I mean, nothing really bad to say about it. I mean, you know, it looks pretty good. I mean, it's kind of a.
I'm totally behind the concept too. Like, I mean, just the idea of like dimension hopping as like a major mechanic is very cool.
That's interesting, and you know, I mean, obviously that's a criticism I have for just a lot of games in general is that they don't really know how to vary the setting. But talk about a perfect plot device to vary the setting for the game.
And like, and one thing I did notice, like, you know, kind of because we've had a little bit of time to kind of mull over the event. There is so much happening on screen all at the same time.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm surprised. Like, I looked at the trailer again. I'm like, holy crap! How many enemies and like all of the like particle effects. And like how like people are being sucked into the dimensions and how you're destroying boxes and destroying things with your different guns and everything. There's so much there. Like that trailer kind of showed off what kind of a little bit what the PS5 could do. And it doesn't feel like it's like over presented. You know, like with the like, yeah, like it looks like this is what you will actually see in the game. It looks really good. Yeah, like it still looks like the PS4 game, but it can do more. And that's, I think, kind of where it's like graphically things are going is like now you can see you can put more things on screen doing multiple things and moving to different, like moving through dimensions instantly. So that was awesome. That was great. I saw that. I'm like, this looks great. The next game we had was Project Atheia, which is that it was a little tiny little clip.
I'm intrigued by that game. That game looks up my alley.
Yes,
I like what I saw.
So it's made by Square Enix, and Square Enix has said that this game, whatever it would be, is geared towards the PS5 and PC, because it's a multi-platform game, but it's built to be played on the PS5, which I have no idea what it is. It looks cool graphically. It looks really pretty.
As soon as that chick like was able to like entangle something with vines with her mind, I was like, yeah, that looks good.
Yeah,
like with the graphical fidelity it has, that kind of gameplay, and like some big like vague fantasy story. Like I'd be like, yeah, I'd play that.
Spectre, what did you think?
For the
Project Atheia, the Square Enix game.
Yeah, that it looks nice. It's I mean, it is. I think it is going to be. It's exclusively for PlayStation 5. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see how that kind of capitalizes on the the technology that they keep swinging out. You know, if the SSD is going to make it so much better. So we'll see how that turns out. I mean, I don't know. I need to know more about it. I mean, nothing. I mean, it looks really pretty, but nothing. We just don't have any information about it, so I just don't have enough information really to comment on it. But
I get you.
Intriguing, I guess. I'm not really a big fan of Square Enix's stuff in general, but We'll see how it turns out.
Next, we got an indie game called Stray. That was the trailer where you're just like following a cat, and it looks like you're in a world full of robots, and it looks like you're going to be experiencing the game through the perspective of the cat.
That game actually does look pretty interesting to me, because in the very first scene of it, graffitied on the wall is "R.I.P. humans" with a heart. So I feel like this is like a post-human world where robots have basically become the new dominant race on the planet. And for some reason, cats also survived. And so you're basically like they look like they're almost like a courier service in addition to and so you're kind of taking the perspective. And I like the visual aesthetic of it. So I think, that would be if it were cheap enough, like I would probably buy that and play it like just as a relaxing thing.
Yeah.
I think the world interests me. I'll say that. It's like, again, it's not anything I'm balls to the wall with, but like it does interest me.
Yeah, it's like Spectre. I think this is when you started to go, all right, let's go, because this is when the indie games start to come in. I'm guessing. What do you think, Spectre, of Stray?
It does look intriguing. Is it going to be like something that is going to be like a must buy for anybody? No, honestly, it looks more like a like this would be a like a free plus game for the month or something like that. More so than anything else. But still, I think it's something I would check out. Visually it does look intriguing. I like the idea behind it. So I can't see myself like paying for it. But I would check it out if it was a $5 game or something, or just but yeah, otherwise no, just not really a heavy hitter.
It's an indie game, and I was like, oh, interesting concept, and that's about all I got. Next, we had a little trailer, just showing off the DualSense controller, which we've already talked about. The next game after that is called Returnal. It's this like weird sci-fi horror.
I dug Returnal. Returnal's concept is way up my alley. It does look interesting.
Yeah, it's the whole
any game that has a Souls-like combat system. I love that kind of tactical melee combat in any game, like Devil May Cry, Neo, any of the Souls. Like I love that kind of combat in a game.
And I
showed off some of that, and that also is like, I would play it because the story seems interesting and those mechanics look good.
Yeah, I believe this is being developed by Housemarque, and I believe what they said from the event from it is that I believe it is a PlayStation 5 exclusive. Like, whether through contract or Housemarque is owned by PlayStation, I'm not entirely sure, but I believe that they said that this is a new IP being made for the PS5 completely. Returnal looks really weird. It looks really cool. I don't know if it's up my own alley because of just how creepy and weird it is. It looks
That's
cool.
That's exactly why it's up my alley, though, because I love creepy and weird, and there's not enough, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, and I know that, Guru Blaze. But, for me, I was just like, okay, I want to know more about this, I would definitely say. How about you, Spectre?
Yeah, same here. I agree with Blaze. It does look intriguing. I like the kind of the sci-fi aspect of it. I like the kind of the plot concept. It's kind of like Day After Tomorrow kind of concept mixed with horror. So I like that. I think that honestly though, what puzzles me, and this is just kind of something that happens so often today, especially with like Western developers. It's just, the character design, I don't know what they were thinking. With the character, I thought the character looked horrendous, both in terms of graphically, just in general. I don't understand. I guess if I was making a game, I would, in terms of like my character design, I would want something that's visually interesting and memorable. It just looks like a generic. I think some people in the chat were saying like this is like a sci-fi Karen game. She looks like this generic, middle-aged woman. And there's just no personality to her design. It looks like it was designed by like like a human didn't even design this. It was just like an artificial intelligence.
I mean, I remember, like, I'm picturing the trailer in my head. I remember her suit, but I will say I do not remember her.
There's a lot of
character.
close-ups of her face.
Yeah.
No, I mean, and I think that, like, graphically, as far as she's rendered, really isn't like bothering to me. I think she looks fine in that respect, but I do know I get what you mean, because I remember her face clearly, and yeah, it was just kind of just a bland blonde older woman.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but then again, that might be what they're trying to go for, is like, a universal kind of like the idea behind Agent 47's character, where like all the DNA that was used to make him is so that he literally looks like he just belongs wherever he is, because he just has such a bland like physical appearance that like no matter where he is, no one would pay any attention to him. And
but I mean, you could still pick out 47 out of like a lineup. I think if you put this character next to other characters in a crowd in a video game, like I couldn't really identify her.
Honestly, well, the suit is more of the identifying thing.
Exactly. That's what I think. But yeah. So then after Returnal, we got Sackboy, A Big Adventure, which looks like it's made by Sumo, which is it's not made by Media Molecule, but it looks like more of like a platforming party game using Sackboy and using the Little Big Planet world from the game.
I mean, it looks interesting, but I've never been huge into Little Big Planet.
How about you, Spectre?
Yeah, I've never been huge into Little Big Planet either, but I think I like I don't know. It looks like a fun, cute game. I guess it's not, like I said, once again, not something I would buy right away. Not something I would be all that into, but still, it's I don't know. It has a charm to it. Sackboy does, and I think I would it's something I would pick up and play.
I do like the aesthetic of the game. Like I like the whole idea of like all the junk, and just the way that the world is crafted is definitely very, very good.
Well, yeah, Media Molecule has done a very good job of like the world building they've done with Little Big Planet. So,
but it's something I'd probably play with a group of people.
Yeah.
But again, it's like I wouldn't pay full price for it.
It like, again, I was like, oh, Sackboy, oh, this looks fun. It looks like a fun little game. I was like, oh, this looks nice. This looks fun. And that was about it. I don't have much more to say about that. Next, we got a trailer for Destruction Allstars, which was pretty much a Destruction Derby style of game, and it looks like during the stream or during the event, me and Spectre were like, okay, so it's not Twisted Metal, like but I will.
I do like the concept of a Destruction Derby and fighting game almost. Like there's some like where you could be out of your car and still.
Yeah.
I like that concept.
Yeah, I did see that. And
I'm not as big of a fan of the Fortnite-y aesthetic that's become really popular.
Yeah, like that.
But like, it does look like a fun party game. Like it looks like something that would be fun to play with a group of people.
And I enjoy Destruction Derby games. Those games are fun, and I haven't like it's like Destruction Derby plus Rocket League plus like. It has that Fortnite aesthetic, which is like whatever. But yeah, I mean, like I want to like it does look interesting because it is a Destruction Derby game, and I do enjoy that genre of games. But would I be more hyped if it was Twisted Metal? Yeah, and maybe it's probably because more of the nostalgia factor to it. Yeah,
Twisted Metal is way more brutal.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Spectre, what did you think?
Yeah, I said pretty much everything I thought about it already. When I saw the trailer, it just looks like, why aren't we getting something like a Twisted Metal? That'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
Give it a second chance because it skipped a generation. We didn't see Twisted Metal, during the PlayStation 4's time. Because I mean, I know they were disappointed with the sales of the PS3 version of the game. But still, I would like to see it come back. It's just like I just wasn't interested in it. I'm just whatever.
This next game actually caught my eye. It was Kenna Bridge of Spirits. It was that that Pixar
that one did look interesting. I would play that game. I like the look of it, and the combat looked pretty fun.
Yeah, it's you have you just are kind of a warlock or a magic wielder, and you have this staff.
A real Beyond Good and Evil vibe.
Yeah. I was actually this one caught my eye. I was like, oh, out of the indie games, kind of the not the big AAA ones. This one I was like, ooh, I want to know more about this one. This one I was actually very intrigued about, and I liked it. And you had these little tiny little black little creatures, these cute little creatures
that like a Pikmin thing.
Yeah. This is a game that I definitely do want to know more about. What about you, Spectre?
Yeah, I'll file this under, just another, I would get it for like $5, or as a free game, but I would not, I really would not be interested in just purchasing this, by itself, if it came into the store. So, let me double check. Is this the one I'm thinking about? Let me just, let me pull it up again here. I just want to pull up the gameplay. 2 seconds. Yeah,
it's
a lot of them did kind of blur together. Admittedly, because
I get you. Yeah, but Kenna Bridge of Spirits. It's the one with it looks like a Pixar game. It has that 3D cartoon style.
I give them credit for at least some decent character design, and the graphics look pretty gorgeous in this.
Yeah,
so, I mean, the setting and the concept behind it, and the gameplay we saw, nothing really wowed me. But I will say that the graphics look great. And I don't know. I guess I'm more interested in this than some of the other stuff we've put across so far. But once again, nothing that's going to be like, oh my god, I have to go out and get a PlayStation 5.
I get you. The next game that we had after is Goodbye Volcano High. This was the one that it was all in 2D. And this was the one where they're all like dinosaurs, I guess. And I know
the game.
You pretty much made all the furries are all about this. I'm like, no, they're dinosaurs. And you were like that. So yeah, but I'm not even.
Furries won E3. I mean, between that and Ratchet, girl Ratchet. I mean, they really they got everything they wanted.
I mean, I'm not even gonna lie with this. I'm like, is this just Life is Strange but with dinosaurs? What is this? Because that was the only vibe I was getting, and I'm like, I don't know. Guru Blaze, what do you think?
I think that the visual aesthetic and the 2D animation was very good looking, just skill-wise. I did appreciate that about it. And I'm sure a game like that would have a good soundtrack, especially since it would appear that the main members are in a band. But yeah, I mean, it's just basically like a coming-of-age story in, anthropomorphized animals. And I have nothing against that. I'd probably if it were free, I'd play it. Just to check it out.
Yeah.
But I mean, and I played Life is Strange, which is a great game. But as much as I love a good narrative, I don't as often play a game that's only narrative. I would never play, even though the stories I've heard are very good, a Telltale game, because it's just I would be bored. I mean, if the story's engaging, I would probably be able to get through it because if it was a really good story. But it's if I'm going to play a game, I like to have far more agency than that. Whereas if I want a movie experience, I will watch a movie.
I mean, again, I'm very much a fan of fully narrative games. I love the Telltale games. I enjoyed the Life is Strange games. I enjoyed 1 and I enjoyed 2.
Strange gave you a little bit more agency than a Telltale game, though, because you could you moved around at on your own terms and reverse you had ability
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing. Just like that would be like kind of a bare minimum for me. Not like, again, not that anything that didn't have it wouldn't be still good, but like if I'm going to pay full price for a game, I need to have that going on.
Yeah, but the Goodbye Volcano High really didn't sell me. The graphic aesthetic, like it being in 2D, is cool. But there are also other games on the PS4 that have also done this. So I was just like, okay, what makes you different? Are you just Life is Strange with dinosaurs? That one I was like, eh. The next one we had was Oddworld Soulstorm. So it's another Oddworld game. Which some people are looking forward to. For me, I haven't really played the Oddworld game, so it looks interesting.
I do know I haven't played, but I had listened to a podcast that kind of broke down like the gameplay of the first Oddworld, and it is an interesting world with like some actually like pretty dark themes in it, and like a lot. It's actually like pretty deep as far as concept. And the one that was in the recent live stream, it looked like, again, like you said, like it looked interesting, but I'm not very invested, which like at all in the Oddworld series. Like that's, I think, not to say that I would try it to see how it plays, but I think it's a lot more for the nostalgia of people who have like been invested in the Oddworld series for the long term.
Yeah. Spectre, how about you?
Yeah, I'm not an Oddworld fan. I just never really got into the games. I'm not saying they're bad or anything by any means.
Yeah.
But just never really got into them.
Yeah.
I just I don't have a lot to say about it. I mean, it looks good. I'm glad for fans of Oddworld, but just not something that I'm particularly intrigued by.
Yeah, this game I know you're looking forward to, Spectre, is Ghostwire Tokyo. That
one I want to play. That looks fucking awesome.
Yeah, that does look awesome. That definitely looks really cool. That's
like especially like how much emphasis the guy put on like the realism of like this is what Tokyo looks like, and like just. It's just like a bunch of, I don't know, like I like the idea, like you don't have any guns, you just have these abilities, and it's just all of this creepy stuff from the lore of Japan and stuff, and like that. Like I would almost prefer it be third person than first person, but that's just because I prefer third person games.
Yeah,
I still want to play it because it looks like it just looks interesting. It's like spooky Pokemon.
I definitely do agree. This game, definitely does look very interesting. How about you, Spectre? Because I know this was a game that you from E3, I believe it was last year or the year before. You were like, yeah, I want to play more. I want to know more about this.
Yeah, I mean, it really was one of the only things to come out of that presentation. It's one of the only things interesting that really happened. For this presentation, it looks interesting. It just looks like it has a lot of creativity behind it, and I definitely want to give this a try. I mean, day one purchase, maybe possibly, but yeah, just looks really intriguing. It kind of difficult to place in terms of its genre too. It kind of mixes a bunch of them. So yeah, no, definitely interesting. This is what I'm talking about when I say I want games that kind of take a few more risks. I mean, it's not necessarily just it's not something I've seen before.
And it's being made or at least being published by Bethesda. After that, we saw another indie game. I believe it's called The Far Shore or Jet the Far Shore.
I
have no idea what this is. I have no idea. From
what I gathered, it's like it seems like you leave your original home and just go like across the universe in search of like new places.
I guess I was just lost.
You know what? It's interesting enough that I do want to play it almost because it's so mysterious.
Yeah.
It almost gives me kind of like a purposefully mysterious vibe, kind of like Little Nightmares or Limbo or Inside.
Yeah.
Like, if it's a game like that, I'd be down to play it.
How about you, Spectre?
This was the
this was the one with like the
got a rocket ship going through a bunch of different terrains. You leave this planet and like
yeah. I don't know what to think of it really yet. It's just not enough information really yet.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm sitting.
Going for with it.
Yeah.
So I guess I can't really say much about it, at least right now.
Yeah. Next after that, we got another trailer for Godfall. We actually saw kind of what Godfall would be. It was like a gameplay trailer, wasn't actual gameplay. It's just
Godfall looks fun, man.
Yeah,
I would like because I mean I love a game like For Honor, but it's not quite there for me as far as the mechanics. Godfall looks like as an online game that looks really fun because I would love to have an online game with that kind of combat.
For me, Godfall is right up my alley. I love hack and slash games, and the aesthetic.
That's what I'm saying, exactly.
And the aesthetic of the characters look amazing. Like when we saw the teaser trailer back at Game Awards 2019, I love the aesthetic. I related it to Darksiders. It looks very Darksiders like, and I love that. The only thing that I was like about was the trailer itself, like the music that they had playing it under it, to me, at least me personally, didn't match what was happening.
I love the music they played, so I mean, I think that's just a personal preference thing.
I'm not saying I didn't like the music. I don't mind the music, but like it's one of those things where like the pairing of it, I was like, something's not clicking. At least for me, I like the music. I like what I saw.
I did see it sync up, so I mean, it might be just a perception thing.
It probably is, but like it was just one of those things where I'm like, but I will say I am looking forward to Godfall, and I do want to see like, is this more of just a hack and slash version of Borderlands, because it's a hack and slash looter. So I do want to know more about this game. How about you, Spectre?
Yeah, I was not a fan of that trailer for it. And at least it did show gameplay and everything, so I give them credit for that. But just was not a fan of it. Yeah, that definitely is not my genre of music either. But that's more of a personal taste type of thing. Yeah, I just like I said, not my cup of tea. I'm not. I was curious about this game, but I mean, I don't know. It's just between that, the gameplay itself, and the I'm not a fan of the developer behind it, really. So yeah, I mean, that's a big hard pass for me.
Okay. Yeah. The next one after that is Solar Ash, which kind of looks like it was made by the guys who did like Fury or whatever. It's this like
it was from the guys who did Hyper Light Drifter.
I thought it like I was like I thought I knew the developer.
I'll tell you one thing, dude. The aesthetic of that game like gives me a fucking erection. Like I definitely want to play that game. That game is gorgeous to me.
Oh yeah,
color palette, and Hyper Light Drifter. I mean, I'm just a sucker for the '80s retro aesthetic, and they have a banging soundtrack.
Yeah, that I will definitely say. Like Solar Ash, I think there were very few indie games I was like, ooh, I want to know more. This was another one of them where I was like, ooh, because of like the aesthetic of it, that '80s like retro music that was being played, like it looks really cool. I was very intrigued by it. How about you, Spectre?
Yeah, I think visually it looks really nice. I don't know. I wasn't into the other that Hyper Light Drifter one. I wasn't really a fan of that personally. So yeah, just another one. I just probably would be a pass for me. I don't see myself ever getting that unless it was free or something.
Next, we got I believe we already talked about this, but the next trailer was for Hitman 3. This I know, Spectre, you're looking forward to. That it's a trilogy. They're going to be doing a trilogy of it, and it's very much more of Hitman, more of very much like that mission based Hitman that we've been playing on the PS4.
I love Hitman, and I'm down as fuck for it. You know. The only thing is like, it's like I said earlier, out of all the trailers, I feel like it was the shortest and showed the least.
How about you, Spectre?
Yeah, you know, looks great. I still have to go through the other Hitman games.
I mean, yeah, I'm still playing through the first remake.
But yeah, no, it looks great. That'll definitely be one I pick up. Maybe not necessarily day one, but I will pick that up. Once I sit down and actually go through the series again here.
Yeah.
So, just looks great. The other two have been pretty good from what I've told so far. I played the 2016 one, but I haven't played the. They're all kind of basically the same. But yeah, no, definitely looking forward to that one.
After that, we got Astro's Playroom, which is they're just moving the Playroom from the PS4 to the PS5. It's not moving it; it's a very different Playroom, but it is what it is. So you just have the little Astrobots, and you can control them, and they're in your controller, and you can do all the stuff that you like. Just like in the Playroom, now it's going to be Astro's Playroom on the PS5, which was just a little showing off of that.
I mean, it's not really a game, so I don't really even have a comment on it.
Spectre?
Same.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it really, and that's the same thing. Again, I'm just kind of explaining what it is. Even for me, I'm like, okay, sweet, Playroom. Okay, great. The next one, oh boy, NBA 2K21. Oh boy, oh boy.
I mean, I like 2K, and if it isn't a glitch fest, I'd probably pick it up just to trade in my old one and replace it because it's one of the few sports games that I'll play on occasion.
I mean, I mean, look, if you replaced NBA with WWE, that's how you would get me. But again, 2K, like even this trailer, it even said that this is pre-alpha. Footage from a PS5 or like using whatever engine they're using for the PS5. So I mean, it very much was it looks like it was a pre-rendered trailer and just shows again. And I don't follow basketball, so I really don't know who that was in the trailer, but he just like, let me show the sweat that's on me and like all the graphics and stuff, and it was just. Hey, NBA is coming to the PS5, which I hope to God it's not just a glitch fest and just, but it's NBA. And again, that's my own opinion. I do know friends who absolutely love NBA, and that's fine. Again, I've had my own, like, I play the WWE games. 2K20, though, WWE 2K20 is a garbage game. That game is glitched to hell, and it's absolute garbage. If you want to play WWE, play 19. 20 is absolute
and
garbage.
Then I have 19, and that's the one that I play.
That's the one you want to play. Don't play 20. 20 is garbage.
Oh, no, yeah, I heard enough about 20 to never even have to...
Nope, that game is bad. And honestly, if you want, I do wish that 2K would take a break from NBA just to kind of like completely update it, not like really overhaul it. And I maybe we'll see it with this, maybe we won't. I'm guessing no, but who knows? But I'll stop talking. Spectre, what do you think?
Oh well, I mean, I'm a huge NBA fan.
Oh man, I know.
Yeah, I couldn't really care less, but it does look, graphically it looks great. So I give it that. Good sign of things to come, I guess. At least I was impressed with just like the close up of the player model and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that looked really, really nice. We will see. We'll see how this turns out. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's what can I say? It's a sports game.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'm glad that it's there just to be like, hey, NBA, there you go. After that, we got this. What? I didn't even know what this trailer was. Bugsnax. What was this? This is the trailer. This game.
Well, it's from the people who made
Octodad. Yes.
It's supposed to just be like a silly game, and I can appreciate it for what it is, but I have no interest to play it.
I'm like, what? Yeah, I'm like, what?
Like that game is definitely is for someone, but it isn't me.
Yeah. How about you, Spectre?
Same here. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed Octodad actually. I thought it was kind of cute. You know, it just yeah. I like I always I never fault people for creativity. And trying something different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know about this one. It just didn't really it didn't do anything for me. Once again, a great PS Plus title for the month. I'd probably play it then, but I would not pay money for it.
Yeah, I was like, I don't even know what this is. I'm laughing most of the time through the entire trailer, so I'm like, maybe I'll get it if it comes free on Plus or whatever. But like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think this game is for me. But this game, oh my god, yes. We finally find out. So after Shuhei comes on, and he goes, before we get to the end, I want to go ahead and present a game that's near and dear to my heart, and it opens with like the big huge bird pretty much carrying the hollow. And I'm like, oh my god, is this what I think it is? And it goes through, and it's Demon Souls for the PS5. It's the Blue Point game that we've been talking about for a very long time. And finally, Demon Souls is coming to the PS5.
I'm pumped for it. I still got to beat the other ones, but actually, since that takes place before all of them, I'll be able to play it right away.
There you go. How about you, Spectre?
Yeah, not a fan of the Soulsborne games. Demon Souls is actually the first one I played in that genre, if you call it that. Just really actually was the game that kind of turned me off to the whole thing. I know it's I found it to be clunky and obtuse, and I understand that's the point of the game. It's that way by design, but I just felt like it didn't make the game more interesting or fun for me to play. It felt like punishing for punishing's sake. It just was and if I really wanted to be frustrated by a game, I would go play like some old Super Nintendo or NES game that was designed to be essentially ridiculously hard, so I mean,
like
I don't know,
Contra or something.
Yeah, something like that. It wasn't for me. I understand people love it. People like a good challenge and everything, but it just was not for me. So I mean, I think it's a great title to have at launch, or launch window.
Oh yeah,
it's coming out. I think it'll do really well, but yeah, just not my thing.
Yeah,
I know I'm saying that a lot, but it's just, I'm being honest, it's just not my thing.
I mean, for me, I've played the Soulsborne games like on and off. Especially Bloodborne. I definitely do enjoy Bloodborne probably more than the Dark Souls games.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm on the second to last boss of Bloodborne. I just haven't played it in months, but like that one's definitely I put the most time into, mainly because I love the Lovecraftian elements of it. That's the main thing for me, and the combat's phenomenal.
But I don't even know how many of my other friends I've talked to, and they're like, "Oh my god, Demon Souls! This is like." And
it's a remake, so I mean, I haven't played the original, but I'm sure the mechanics have been overhauled.
Oh yeah, and because this is a Blue Point game, this is going to be very much like how they have done this game is how they remastered Shadow of Colossus. Shadow of Colossus has been like tweaked mechanically, graphically. I mean, mind you, the graphics have been rebuilt from the ground up. Mechanically, it's tweaked so it plays much better. And Spectre can talk about that because I know he loves that game. He loves that. I know that. So I mean, again, I'm very much excited and looking forward to the Demon Souls game. And how this is going to be. I'm so excited for this. It's going to be so awesome.
Yeah, I'm down for it.
Yeah. So.
Count me out, but that's okay. I know people love it. So
well, it's made by Blue Point, who did one of your favorite games, which is Shadow Colossus.
Yeah. So I'm sure it'll be very competently done. I know there's already some people that are kind of like complaining about like, oh, they changed this thing or they don't understand this and blah blah blah. But it's like it's a way to play the game on a modern system, and I mean, because it's it's especially important in a way because we don't have backwards compatibility. to a large extent. So it's that makes it even more important that a game gets re-released and upgraded.
Well, full backwards compatibility, meaning going all the way back to 1 or the 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, well, even PlayStation 4 backwards.
No, well, we still don't have details about full details about the system, but we'll get into that.
Wasn't that confirmed that it would be backwards compatible with PS4?
Yes, it did confirm that it's backwards compatible to the PS4, but only, I believe they said, to a list of like 1,000 games right now, but they're working on expanding that even more, so it's the entire library. So yeah. The next game that we have is Deathloop. This is the game made by Arcane. This was also shown off last year at E3. And it's that very much like that assassin, like where someone's trying to hunt your character down, and you are trying to pretty much kill, like
the Running Man.
Yeah,
it's like a grindhouse Running Man Dishonored type game.
It looks really cool, and I love Arcane.
It does look like I like the concept. I like the aesthetic. It looks fun. But it would have to be a cheaper game for me to pick it up.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Spectre?
I had a totally different take on it. I see it as a bland version of Dishonored. Arcane. I mean, they've not had a good track record for a while now. They haven't really made a good game since the original Dishonored. So I mean, it's. I
disagree, but whatever.
Well,
Dishonored 2 is pretty good too, I would say.
Dishonored 2 is good. Death of the Outsider is great.
That's the reason why we're never going to see Dishonored again, is because of that. But that was done by design. But anyways, it just looks generic to me. I wouldn't see myself playing this even if it was free.
I mean, for me, I'm excited. I will definitely say I'm excited. I love
if
the
you're
Arcane
looking forward
games.
to a Bethesda game, look forward to Elder Scrolls 6. Look forward to Ghostwire Tokyo. For something intriguing and different. This just looks like a repackaged Dishonored with the soul removed.
I mean,
I can see where you're coming from. Like, I do get like a bland vibe, but I would still play because, like, as if I was playing with friends, it'd be fun.
Maybe it's a game you would play only for like maybe the gameplay is really solid. Maybe it's one of those games where it's like you don't really play it for character or story.
Like Destiny, because it's just competently done and it has good mechanics.
And that's for me that like it's like the story has an interesting concept, but that's not what excites me. Like the gameplay that we saw, that's what excited me. It was that weird, like almost bullet storm, like where you can use different things in combination to like guns. You have different powers, and you like how they shown it off. You use stealth, you use guns, you use powers, and you can do. You can combine them. It's not like, different ways to use them. It's like, all right, I'm going to lift you up, shoot you in the head, and then throw you away. I'm going to stab you in the neck, and then, like, shoot you in the stomach. Like, all the different ways that you can do it. It's the gameplay that I got that is getting me excited for it. Is it on the top of my list? No. Am I looking forward to it, though? Yes. So after Deathloop, we got the next Resident Evil game, Resident Evil 8 Village.
Well, I still haven't played 7, and I have that, and I own the RE2 remake, but I haven't started it yet. I just started Wolfenstein 2, so I'm playing that. But like, it looks good. I'm down for a good horror game, and that one looks good. There's barely any to pick from, so I'm not gonna be picky, and I know it'll be well done.
I know from because this was a bit like because I have only played Resident Evil 7 only a little bit, but one of the problems or one of the gripes that some people have had, or that some of my friends have told me, is that the family in 7 are fantastic, and they're fantastic enemies and fantastic villains, but then there's the mold that just kind of like that kind of expand on it, or just kind of pads it out. So there's really no difference of enemies, where this looks like there are different types of enemies and different things that you will have to fight
there's like
and survive through. Yeah, so And the trailer did a very good job, like, of starting it off. I was like, "What is that? This looks like a horror game." But I like, is this more of like, is this another Evil Within, or like, is this made by a different thing? I feel like this is Resident Evil, but I don't know until they did Village, and then it did the VIII for it, and I'm like, "Oh, that's Resident Evil, yeah!" So good. I love the trailer. How about you, Spectre?
Yeah, I'm not a Resident Evil guy. I'm more.
I'm guessing you wish I'm guessing you wish this was Silent Hill instead.
Oh, I do too. Look,
yeah.
And I love Silent Hill, but like I could tell right away it wasn't.
Yeah. So yeah, go on, Spectre.
Yeah, like I said, that's more my speed, but that's okay. Like I said, I'm happy for people that are really into the Resident Evil. I mean, I had to Google it because I was like, how many Resident Evil games are there now? There's like actually over 25 of them. It's hard to believe. That's not counting re-releases.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just amazing how prolific this series has been.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. What I will say I will be interested to try will be when we inevitably get the RE4 remake. I will check that out. Resident Evil 4 was one of the standouts for the series, just in terms of its presentation, the gameplay, extremely influential game. Obviously, it's been said 1,000 times already, but I will check that out when that comes out because I'm interested to see how they handle that game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. This just doesn't look, like something that's for me. I mean, it looks like kind of almost like just an extension of Resident Evil 7, which is fine because Resident Evil 7 did really well. But yeah, just not for me.
Yep. So I get you. I'm not into the horror, but I am very intrigued by it. Next we got Pragmata, which is that weird sci-fi. I have no idea what this game is.
It looks interesting, and I'll probably want to play it because the story and the atmosphere are very, very good.
I just want to know more about it. I have no idea what this is, but I want to know more about it. How about you, Spectre?
Same. I want to know more about it. It's not really much to go on just based off of the very short trailer teaser thing we got, but I definitely want to know more about it. But yeah, for now, there's not really much to say about it, because we didn't really see much.
And then the final game that we got until there's one more piece, but the final game we got was Horizon Forbidden West, which is the sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn. So Horizon 2.
I still am playing my way through the first Horizon, but I'm getting that.
Oh,
it's phenomenal.
I am so ready for this game. Oh man, I love Horizon Zero Dawn. That was my game of the year back in 2017. Like that, hands down. I love Horizon, and I was like, they're making a sequel. I know there is now. Come on, and I'm so glad they showed the trailer. And I'm like, all you need to do is give me the release date, and if it's holiday 2020, holy crap! Like it's in the bag. I love Horizon. No matter what, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Horizon Zero Dawn, Marvel Spider-Man, Ratchet and Clank, and Demon Souls are those 4 exclusives by themselves. I'm like, yep, I'm here for this. But Horizon Zero Dawn, I'm so excited.
For me, those and Ghostwire Tokyo are pretty much the main, and Hitman 3 would be the main standouts.
But I'm so excited for Horizon Forbidden West. How about how about you, Spectre? Are you looking forward to Horizon Forbidden West?
Not at all.
Wow. Okay.
I played through the original, and I got the platinum, so you can't. No one can accuse me of not giving the game a chance. Played for the game completely, and I don't see the appeal. Bad story. I mean, bad. Terrible. Once again, terrible character design. I can't remember any character in that game other than Aloy or whatever her name is. And that's only because she's the main character. I couldn't really recall a single side quest in that game. Nothing was interesting about this game. The combat was okay at first, but then it becomes exploitable later on as you get upgrades. Just not good. The only positive thing I can say definitively about that game is that it looks gorgeous. Graphically looks fantastic. No complaints about the graphics. I'm sure the sequel will be just as pretty. But yeah, just not my thing. It was a chore to get through. I finished it up, and I was like, okay, well, only got a few more things to do for the platinum, so I may as well finish it, get my money's worth out of it. But I just, as soon as I put that game down, I stopped thinking about it. I was just like, I do not want to.
I mean, that's fine. You can have your wrong opinion, Spectre. That's fine. Your opinion's wrong, but that's okay. You can have it. No, I did completely disagree.
I could see some of your points, but I do actually like the story. I will agree with you that the only two characters that have any meaningful standout are the main character and like her foster dad who dies in the beginning. Like outside of those two, not that I think that the characters look bad, but they're
and that's my challenge to people is like, aside from Aloy, name 3 characters from the game.
Well, Aloy and Rost are like the main two, like her dad and her. And those are really like, and maybe like that one chick who looks like her mom in the hologram, I guess.
Elizabeth Sobek. And then you had Silence, who was in the new trailer.
None of it, I like the story a lot. I like the world a lot. But, I will agree that like almost any given NPC is completely forgettable after you talk to them for, after you complete a quest. You're never going to, And then there's like that one guy who like, is like super into Aloy, who has like a mohawk. I don't know his name, but that's more to your point. There is just like there isn't too many because there's so many. That's the other thing. Not that that's bad, but it's like with that many bland characters, like there's basically just a sea of like ambiguity.
I guess, but
but the thing is, I don't focus on that as much. Like, I enjoy the story. I'm not worried about them. Like, I just see the NPCs more as the means to the end. So, like, it wasn't something that I would have even, like, until you brought it up, like, it's never something that, like, I considered as a negative because it's not something I even thought about.
Yeah.
But I do agree that, like, if you were to think about it in that manner, then there is a lot of forgettable characters in the game.
Again, for me, I cannot be more excited. I love.
I'm excited.
Like, I love Horizon Zero Dawn. That was my game of the year of 2017. I'm so amped to play Horizon Forbidden West. So yeah, the last thing now. Let's go ahead and talk about this. After that, we finally get to see what the system is. We see what the system is. They have shown off accessories. So the Pulse, the new Pulse headset, the media remote, along with the new camera. And they showed off the system itself. So who wants to start about what their opinions is on the system?
My opinion is honestly pretty simple. Like, I think it looks pretty cool in a way. The only thing that I'm concerned about is the way that they displayed it. I really hope that it also is able to be positioned horizontally. Because from the way it looked, I don't know if you can or not. Because I'm not someone who like puts my systems vertically. Like,
I think I agree with you, and I think they did confirm that it can go on its side, even though it doesn't, ostensibly it doesn't look like it could.
It actually can go on its side.
I figured it could, but like it was hard, and I assumed it would, but it's like I couldn't really tell from the way they showed it. But yeah, if it can go on its side, then yeah, I think it looks. I mean, I know there's like a lot of there's a shit ton of people making fun of it, and rightfully so. Like, that's funny, but I don't think it looks bad.
No,
I think that the design is interesting. Like, it's a very artistic take. Like, you could talk all the shit you want about it, but it definitely has much more artistic form than the Xbox Series X.
Yeah, like, I personally absolutely love the design. Like, it looks so different.
Gorgeous, as a side note. The control, I mean, because that's old news, but like the controller is gorgeous. I love the controller. whatsoever.
Oh, the DualSense. Man, that looks so.
Well, I think it's a very cool looking system. That's what I mean. I've all like. I mean, as a designer, the PlayStation logo is my favorite logo, and I've always thought that, like, as far as like, I love how Sony continues to put visual aesthetic into the system.
Mm-hmm.
Not that Microsoft hasn't, but Sony's always, I don't know, it's always just had a much more innately cool, like, aesthetic. Like, they're designing it to look good when it sits on your shelf or whatever.
Yeah. No, I love it. Like, I know I've seen people say, like, oh, what is that? A router?
Like a really expensive PC case with a bunch of lights in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, like they're trying to do that for you. And I appreciate that.
Yeah, I love the dual color also. So you have the white, like the primary white, but then it's the middle piece is in black. I like that.
And then the blue around it, like,
yeah,
it's very well done.
Yep. Spectre, what do you think of the system? Because what did you think?
Yeah, I give him credit. It's a bold design. You know, it's not what I expected it to look like. I'm not all that thrilled with the color, but I mean that's kind of an irrelevancy because I'm sure we're going to see 1,000 different color schemes for this system. Just like we have. Yeah. So I mean, it doesn't really matter that, you know, I'd rather have like a black system that matches my entertainment stands aesthetic, you know. But that's fine. That like I said, we're going to get a black version. We'll probably get a freaking pink version or something. Whatever. There's going to be 1,000 different color schemes for this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of relevant. My only other concern is, I mean, we need to know more about the size of it. I mean, it actually. It
looks pretty big,
like huge. Yeah, it looks like a PC tower, which is
that's exactly what I thought. Which is why I was like, man, I hope this can be horizontally stored, because it's like, if it's as big as it looks, I don't want to have to try to find a spot to store that vertically where it's not going to get knocked over sometime.
Mm-hmm. I mean, are you like? Because to me, it looks tall. It looks like it's tall, not big, tall. So going up and down, which I can agree with. But it does look more slim now. There are two models to this. There is the normal PS5 and then a PS5 digital edition, where the digital edition just means they have taken out the disc drive.
I will
completely.
be honest, though, the symmetry of the digital edition is much more appealing than the one with the disc tray. Not that it looks bad, but I guess the way I think about it is, like, I don't know why you wouldn't just put the disc tray in the center of the black, like, middle part, and then you could still have that symmetry on both sides.
Because I think the where in the middle piece of the black part is where all of the wire, like.
Oh no, I'm sure it was. I mean, they know more about building a console than I'll ever know, and I'm certain that that's needed to be done the way. And it doesn't look bad. Again, it's just like that. I think it would have looked a little bit more pristine if it didn't have that hump on the bottom with that, you know what I mean?
But it looks like, you know, they're going with a normal and a digital version. So it again, this, like, we've talked about this about, you know, physical versus digital. This looks like,
no, they're smart for doing it. It's a great business move, because there's plenty of people who will just buy the digital version, and it's cheaper to make it without.
There you go. That's the reason they're making a cheaper model. Because that disc drive takes away about $100 from the price.
Yeah, I agree. It's a good idea. I also agree that it looks kind of weird because it's like asymmetrical. It'd be nice if they somehow integrated the disc drive into the the main part of the unit itself.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I think it's a smart plan. It's a way to get around the cost factor of it, and having like a more accessible model for the average consumer. I mean, and keep in mind too, a digital model is pretty appealing to a lot of people. I mean, most people buy their games digitally now. It's been the dominant consumer trend. I mean, me personally, even as someone that buys almost exclusively digital games, I think I still will get the version, the heavy duty version with the disc tray.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I could easily see someone picking up the digital version. That would be a good option as well.
I just think that, like, again, I mean, I'm opposite. Like, I'm almost exclusively physical, only just like not counting my PC games, because who fucking buys.
Yeah, good luck with that. Yeah,
I know, right?
Games anymore. But like I as far as console, I always want a physical copy. I've only bought one digital game ever on my console, and I have a bunch of digital games downloaded, but they're all from PS Plus. Yeah, I've only ever bought one game outright, which was the original Final Fantasy VII on the PlayStation Store for like $15.
Yeah. I mean, and for me, I'm gonna go with the normal version with the disc drive.
I have too, by all means. I just think that the digital version looks more symmetrical.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, I'm gonna go with that because like I'm an old man. I like having physical games, so I want the disc drive.
I don't even think age is the thing for me. It's like I like having a physical copy because then it can never be taken away from me. Like if a game if it becomes abandonware, stops being supported, or any other issue where it's because a digital game, it's just like I don't like paying a lot for anything digital other than the computer, just because I'm never really spending that much at a time, and I mean I trust Steam in that regard. But it's like depending on what the game is, if it's digital and like they stop supporting it or some other issue occurs, like you may just lose that game.
I used to be
it might be a low risk, but the risk is there. Whereas the physical copy always ensures that you could reinstall it no matter what.
I think I agree with you to some extent on that topic. I mean, there's some games that I really, really enjoy, and I have physical copies of them. Or I mean, I'm a collector. I collect, like Nintendo 64.
Right. The
stuff like that. I'm not really concerned anymore about losing a game like outright, like it being completely abandoned, because I think what we've seen time and time again is that if depending on the game, if it's relevant enough, it will have a fan base there to support it and to and to basically ensure that the game is still playable in some capacity.
Yeah.
And between that and remakes and remasters, I think most games are secure. Are we still going to lose games?
Yes.
Yeah, probably. Yes. I think that's for a certainty. But at the same time, I think, now more than ever, compared to, kind of the pre-digital age, I think games are actually in a much better place to be preserved than they were before, where everything was physical only.
Oh, I definitely agree with that. I'm just saying, as far as my personal consumption, I just like having, in addition to just having the disc as like a visual thing, like like books on a shelf.
Yeah.
I like having like the complete security that I could take this to another person's house. I could take it with me somewhere. Like if for some or what if your system breaks? Like as opposed to like any of the digital games that might be corrupted and you'd have no way to do anything about it. Like, I mean, granted, I guess you could probably still reinstall off the cloud, but I guess it's just like I think that the security of having a physical copy is far greater than the risks, as low as they might be with going all digital for everything.
Yeah. So we saw what the system looks like, and I think we all agreed that this system looks amazing. I know for a fact.
I do like the way it looks. I do. I don't know if I would say like amazing, but I do enjoy the aesthetic of it.
I think it looks beautiful. How about you, Spectre?
I like I said, I give them credit for it. For a really bold design. I think the system will look. It actually does look pretty awesome. I think it'll look better when we get a version of it in black and kind of the traditional PlayStation colors, like a black and a blue. I think it'll look good then. But I'm sure we'll get some kind of, I mean, especially considering the size of it, I'm sure we'll get some kind of slim version of this.
Yeah.
Of down the road here, just because this thing is so massive, at least according to everything I've seen about it. So yeah, but I do like the design. I like the kind of the fins and it looks very stylish. It's not it's not just a black box. It looks unique. It definitely it wins the sexiness factor over the Series X, which looks like a fridge.
Yeah, it's either do you want to buy the mini fridge or do you want to buy the router?
Not that it could really matter. I mean, who cares? I mean, your console could be housed inside of a toaster. Does it really matter as long as
it plays the games?
I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for the game sphere. That's what I'm waiting for.
Not wrong. Yeah. Not wrong. Spherical. So But there are some things that we did not get from this event. We do not have the price. We do not have an actual date. We don't have even more details about how backwards compatibility is going to work and all these kind of things. And honestly, for me, it feels like you have PlayStation and Xbox looking at each other with guns to each other and going, "No, you go first. No, you go first. No, you. No, you." Because we have this happen.
Well, it's just the Mexican standoff, but they're just holding out credit cards instead.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're both looking at each other, and so we have this. In July is the Inside Xbox about the exclusive games. To me, I'm how long are you guys gonna wait for pre-orders to go up? Now, maybe the reason is they're waiting is so that way, because we have heard that the number of systems, the stock of the systems, are smaller than before because of the pandemic. Maybe they're waiting so that way they can get more systems processed, so once they get the pre-orders up, they can actually match them. But I also do think or feel that the reason why they're also waiting is that they go Xbox, you say what your price is, and Xbox is going, no, you first, because once you state what your price is and all of that kind of stuff,
it's a big commitment to make.
Exactly, and that's they
don't want it. I'm sure they don't want another PS3 debacle.
Exactly, and that's been something that has been reported that PlayStation is struggling with, is the price and how they dictate that. I think they're honestly waiting to see what Microsoft does. The July event, the July Inside Xbox, is only about their exclusive games, so it's not even about their system. So for all we know, the pre-orders could go up in August or September. That's only a month or two away from quote-unquote holiday of this year. So I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna definitely say that I'm surprised that they didn't just go full out and say everything. But I can understand it from a business sense, because if they said everything, and mind you, this event was about the games. They showed off the games and they showed off the system. Perfect. That was great. And it gets me excited for all right, these are the games I can get excited for. These are the reasons why I want to go ahead and get a PS5. But I would definitely, we need to know this information pretty soon. So I'm all right, well, it's June right now. You have July, you have August. We're getting closer and closer to holiday. So, but yeah, that's what I think. What do you guys think? Do you agree with what I'm saying? Spectre.
Yeah, I think it's getting close to the point where we need some answers here. I mean, we're already halfway through June. I mean, we're gonna have but I kind of agree with what they're doing, because they don't want to blow their load, as it were. You don't want to just come out and say everything okay, here's the date, here's the price, here's everything. It's you want to kind of stagger these events a little bit, and because you want to kind of capture that news cycle. You want to be you always want to get attention. So because now what we're going to have is Xbox go next with another event, and you want to be able to kind of react to that and say okay, well, by the way, just in case you forgot, kids, here's your system's coming end of the year, and it's going to cost this much. Pre-order available right now. And I think that's what's going to happen. It's going to be kind of like it was with before, where you're able to kind of reserve both systems at the same time. They want to have both systems kind of head to head battle out like that. You don't want to have a situation where it's you can only get a PlayStation or an Xbox Series X and not respond. And not that I'm even thinking that they're really in this fierce heated competition. I don't really think they see it that way as companies, on the same way that fans do. But still, I think they have to be aware that they don't want to lose market share.
Exactly. I again, this that whole thing. I agree. This is there is competition to it, because who's going to buy your system first? Not everyone is going to buy both an Xbox, a Series X, and a PS5 day one. It's one or the other. So it is that all right, who's going to have more of the market share? So yeah. What do you think, Guru Blaze? That we didn't hear about price, so we didn't hear about that.
I pretty much have the same opinion as you guys.
Okay. But yeah, that's everything. That's everything from the event. That's all the games, everything. I know there's a good number of games for me that I'm excited for, and they're exclusive games for the PS5. I've already stated before, like these games. I will definitely say, because of these games, I am definitely looking forward to the PS5, and I think when in July, when we see the exclusives of the Series X, for me personally, that is when I get to go, okay, who in my mind kind of is coming out on the better end, and I guess we'll wait until that. But for me, the games that they've announced, I'm so excited for. I like the design of the PS5, and I'm looking forward to hearing more. But final words from you, Spectre.
Yeah, no, I like I said, initially I was pretty disappointed. I was like, this is not what I wanted. Nothing really exciting for me. But then upon reflection, I think this was a strong event. I think this is a better launch lineup than what we've seen for the last couple of generations. It's just, even if it doesn't have anything that I personally really enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
I think for myself, I probably won't buy the system right away unless there's something else that's revealed that's really, really compelling. So I'll probably wait on the system, and maybe that's for the best too, because then I can wait for like a slim, or I can wait for like a bundle, or like a special edition of like God of War or something like that, which inevitably will happen.
Yeah.
So maybe it's best that I wait. I save myself a little bit of money in the meantime. And plus, I mean, the PlayStation 4 is not going anywhere. I mean, we're still getting, big games for it. I'm going to play Ghost of Tsushima soon. So, and I got plenty of games to still play on that system. So,
yeah.
So I guess that's kind of my thoughts on it. I mean, I'm intrigued to see what they do with the system. It's just, as of right now, much like what happened with when the PlayStation 4 launched, there just really isn't anything for me. So I will probably be waiting on this.
Guru Blaze.
I have a similar thing. Like, I wasn't planning on getting it like on launch. Like, I'm gonna just have it be out for a bit, and kind of like just keep my ear to the ground and like see how it performs, and more titles may come out, another version may come out. I don't know. I don't know if I'd wait so long as for another version necessarily, depending on how long that would take. But it's definitely something I would probably give give a month, and then just kind of see how everything works out with it before I would just drop money on it.
Yeah, I get you there. But yeah, I believe that's everything. We went through the event, and yeah, I think we're all looking forward to seeing when we can finally pre-order and get these things out. But yeah, but guys, thank you so much for watching. Please let us know what you guys think, if there are any of the games that from the event that you're excited for, or what you think of the console, all that kind of good stuff. We would love to hear from you. But guys, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/Brotherhood of Geeks. Like, comment, share, subscribe, tell everyone you know, all that kind of good stuff. And also, press the bell icon. That way, whenever we put up a video, we put up a video. You can also follow us on Facebook, which is facebook.com/The Brotherhood of Geeks. You can follow us on Twitter at Dualshock'd BOG. That's the name of this PlayStation podcast, Dualshock'd BOG. And then you can also follow us on Twitch when you stream at twitch.tv/Brotherhood of Geeks. That is everything. So yeah, woo! Oh man, I missed you guys. I missed like all three of us being together. This is nice. I like this.
It was fun,
man.
Yeah, this is great. So we will definitely have to do this again, but I'm glad that everyone's here to kind of give their own opinion of this event, because this is pretty big. So yeah, well, that's Guru Blaze.
Yes,
that's Spectre.
And that's Spectre. Yeah! It's weird when they're not here. Anyway, that's the two of them. I'm Brett J. Rasmussen, and as always, live to play together. We'll see you guys next time.